Exhilarating sports talk coming up next on The Doug Stewart Show in about 2 minutes. Stay tuned. We're about to have some fun. That's right. Sports talk, guy talk, right here on The Doug Stewart Show. Show coming up in about a minute and a half. Hold on. You have entered a no puppet zone. That's right, no puppetry around here. The Doug Stewart Show coming up in about 1 minute. The realest, treeless, most unfiltered sports and guy talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show coming up in about 30 seconds. Yes!
Play this record as frequently as possible.
The Doug Stewart Show
is the best in the world as far as I'm concerned.
This is sports talk for the people. The Doug Stewart Show. It's like the tail wagging the dog. They create the narrative. Don't believe it. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Or are you not entertained? This is sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. The Doug Stewart Show. Yeah! Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. And oh boy, this is a Man Talk Monday. And we got a lot of great things we're going to get into today. As we do every single day, though. Thank you so much for joining your boy. Bring that beat back one more time. Cassidy, bring it back one more time. Bring it back one more time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, Stewies. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. Hope you had a good weekend. Shouts out to everybody already in the chat room. I'll tell you about that in a second if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show. But we truly do have the greatest and the best chat room in America, man. This is a Man Talk Monday, February 1st, 2016, man. And today's show is brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? ID Life is a movement. ID Life is the future of health and wellness. So if you want to get right in 2016, a lot of y'all have joined up, man. Thank you for that. I haven't mentioned that in a couple of days. A lot of y'all have gotten down with ID Life. And what is ID Life? It's individualized nutrition. And so basically, you know, when you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to get healthier, man, a lot of times you got these generic just cookie cutter products in health stores, and you go in there and get it. But we aren't all the same. We aren't, you know, all the same people inside and out. And so what ID Life is this individualized nutrition. You go on and you take an assessment, and it tells you exactly what you need in your supplements and in your diet, what you need to get rid of, what you need to add, that type of thing. So go to thedugstewartshow.idlife.com and get more details. That's thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. Take your free assessment and get healthy in 2016, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. A ton of great things we need to get into today, man. Obviously, you see the title of today's show, Super Bowl 50 is here. Super Bowl 50 week is here, Shawty. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's here. And so we'll talk about that all day, every day, this entire week right here on the Doug Stewart Show. We'll also get into Cam Newton and his dress. Not an actual dress, but his clothes. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Matter of fact, we might get to that here in a second. The Lions got possum luck. Little Pro Bowl talk from yesterday. Not a lot. Folks starting to let their true feelings out about Terrell Owens. We'll get into that conversation. The Puppet Factory, which is ESPN if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show. The Puppet Factory did a list, and they did their list of the top 10 Denver Broncos of all times and the top 10 Carolina Panthers of all times. So we'll have a little fun with that. We'll talk about that. I'll give you, my thoughts on it. And then LeBron James, little NBA talk, Steph Curry, and anything else that you want to get into in the world of sports and entertainment. If you are new to the Doug Stewart Show, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Yes! Yes, sir. Now, trust me on this. Trust me on this. We have more fun around here than you can shake a stick at. I mean, not only do we talk sports and entertainment, guy talk, I sing for you, I rap also. I have the most interesting, most devastating, most unfiltered takes in sports talk radio. That's right, one half of the world famous Two Live Stews. Speaking of which, thank you for tuning in to the return of the Two Live Stews this past weekend. If you're in Atlanta, it's on 640 WGST, 11 a.m., worldwide on iHeartRadio as well. So we do a lot of things. I read a lot of your chat. I take phone calls. We do a lot of things in the show. Speaking of which, one more time, if you are new to the show, you need to go to the Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker. Okay, that's where we broadcast the show. The Spreaker platform, SPREAKER.com. Hit the follow button. So whenever a show goes live, you'll be alerted. And not just my show, maybe the Kicking It with Kesey show, the Poe Politicking show, the Grizz. We air other shows on this network as well. So hit the follow button so that whenever a show goes live, you'll be alerted. And then hit the little chat bubble. And that'll introduce you to a whole new world of sports and guy chat. The best chat room in the world. Not in the South or in America, but the world. I call it the Sports and Fantasy Guy Chat. And its inhabitants are the Stewies. Good morning, Stewies. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, you know what, man? I think this week might be epic as far as the Super Bowl, the leading up to the Super Bowl, radio roll, the media day, as far as somebody saying something that we can just run with and just get into all day long. I mean, think about it now. You got Cam Newton, who's pretty outspoken. You got Josh Norman. You got the Talib kid. You got the storyline with Peyton Manning retiring this year. You got a couple of cats, man, that talk and have pretty, interesting personalities. The problem a lot of times is with these teams if they don't have great personalities. Like the Falcons for many years, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The Atlanta Falcons, which we broadcast the show from if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show. The Atlanta Falcons, for many years, probably 3-4 years, had a real good run where they were solid. They were one of the top teams in the NFC. Definitely one of the top teams in the NFC South. But they didn't really have any personality. They didn't really have any charismatic people or guys that would, say something and keep it interesting. That's kind of what made the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s, man, that team where everybody was interested in, man, because they had personalities, the biggest being Michael Irvin, I guess, but you had a lot of guys on the defense as well. Same thing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had personalities with Warren Sapp and those guys, man, and the Barber boy, Rondé Barber, Tiki Barber, and those, or not Tiki, Rondé Barber. So you had just like some personalities that kind of stood out. A couple years ago, you had Richard Sherman. You had Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch with the, I'm just here so I don't get fined whole fiasco thing. That was cool. So this year, something big might happen on Radio Row and on Media Day. I can't wait for that. But it's kind of already started. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It's kind of already started, and nobody hasn't said a word yet. With this whole Cam Newton, Versace, something pants that he wore, to the airport on the flight out to Santa Clara. Now listen. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now listen, I try to dress nice, man, and I guess in relatively speaking, I'm kind of conservative in my dress, man. I don't ever wear a lot of flamboyant stuff, and that's fine if you do, man. But some of this stuff, man, that these young boys be wearing, man, just really, really makes you scratch your head. And if you haven't seen it, man, and according to the Charlotte Observer, the Versace Barocco accent print jeans in yellow zebra print were being sold for $849. But now they're all sold out because of Cam Newton. You're talking about a trendsetter. I don't care if them jeans was $4.99. I'm not wearing nothing like that. And the bad part about the jeans, man, is we had a little discussion on this last week, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Today, and in 2015 and 2016, they're wearing them too tight. They're wearing these skinny jeans, as they call them. And back in the day, back in like the late 70s, I remember for a very brief period, we were wearing, and I don't know how popular it was. Maybe it was just, something that they did in my part of the country, in my neck of the woods. We used to wear pistol leg pants. And it was kind of like they were a little bit slimmer, but we used to like fold the cuffs at the bottom and cuff them up a little bit just to make them look tight. All right? But we were little kids. I don't think no grown men were doing it. I know good well my daddy wasn't wearing no damn jeans like that. My old man wasn't wearing no pistol leg jeans. And so in 2016, man, Cam Newton, Young Thug, Kanye got our youth of America wearing tight-ass pants. And Cam is wearing tight-ass pants with a zebra print on them. What? Unfreaking believable. We living in a time, Fessa. We living in a time. To quote the great Fess Manigault. All right, when we get back from the break, man, let's talk about the Lions and Calvin Johnson. You've heard the story, man. You talk about some bad luck, man, some possum luck. That's the Detroit Lions. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What is ID Life? Well, over the last 18 years, a group of scientists and doctors have been working on the development of a one-of-a-kind nutritional supplement program that takes all the guesswork out of what you need and delivers your truly personalized pharmaceutical-grade nutrition with your name on it directly to your door. Through the integration of thousands of medical and scientific studies, answers you provide to the free assessment, and more than 5,470 algorithms that process the data, ID Nutrition recommends what you need, leaves out what you don't, and blocks things known to the system to have possible adverse effects based on the answers you provide. The result is a program that is revolutionizing the health and wellness industry. Welcome to ID Life. For more information, just go to thedougstewartshow.idlife.com. That's thedougstewartshow.idlife.com. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BV Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bvmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bvmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Shouts out to all of the Stewies out there. Man, Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 50. A couple of big names in the game. Talked about that in the first segment, how you got a couple of decent personalities, cats that might give us something to chew on. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, man, you can give me a call. I don't think I mentioned this in the first segment. Yeah, the chat is big, and I'm going to start reading some of your chat here and getting some of your thoughts on what we're talking about today on the show. But you still can call the show old school style. I mean, we are 100% legit around here. Ain't no playing GA. No, Nah. You can give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Whatever you want to do, whatever's your flavor, you can holler at your folks at the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Calvin Johnson says he plans to retire this year, or this past year was his last year, actually. After 9 seasons in the NFL, Johnson's body is beaten down. He's been a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's battled lingering issues with his ankles, general soreness, man, just getting beat up. And, you know, Calvin's a big target. You talking, what, 6'5", 6'6", 230 pounds. So, I mean, yeah, that's to his advantage a lot of times, man. But can you imagine being Calvin Johnson and how many times you come across the middle and cats have gone for your knees, you know, and just hit you low in your legs, man? He played in all 16 games this past year and hauled in 88 receptions for 1,214 yards and 9 touchdowns. It was his 6th consecutive 1,000-yard season and his 7th of his career. He's done it 6 times in a row, okay? He was the number 2 pick overall in the 2007 draft. He had his best year in 2012 when he set the NFL single-season record with 1,964 yards receiving. He is the all-time franchise leader in receptions for the Detroit Lions with 731 receptions as well as 11,619 yards. Lions made the playoffs in only 2 of this man's 9 years. Now, so you can imagine this is going to wear on you for that long. I mean, just be honest. If you're just the stellar player, man, year in and year out, you bring your A game. You're one of the top 2, maybe 3 receivers in the game, and you make it to the playoffs 2 times. Now, I don't know, and I haven't heard a lot of talk about this being some type of ploy so that he could get traded. You remember when Barry Sanders was talking about retiring, and everybody speculated that he just wanted to get traded. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. So the Lions never traded him. And we really have never been able to confirm whether that was the case or not. But Barry retired, he stayed retired. Now, this Calvin Johnson thing, man, is very interesting because the Detroit Lions are coming off a year where they pretty much sucked. Jim Caldwell keeps his job. They're going to keep him as head coach of the team going forward next year as well. And your best player, and I mean it's not even close. Some people might say Matthew Stafford might be their best player, and those people would be crazy, I would say. Your best player is retiring when he still has probably a bunch of good years left in his tank. Now even a Calvin Johnson at 80% and 75% is better than a lot of receivers, most receivers in the NFL. So this is strange. The thing you got to know about Calvin is this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, okay? And I did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and somebody asked me something about Calvin Johnson, and maybe it was the whole conversation about him retiring. I think maybe we had heard something about it in them streets. And Ryan asked me about it, and we talked a little bit about it on the Two Live Stews. But you got to remember something, man. Calvin Johnson's made a gazillion dollars, man. This is 2016. These cats are a lot smarter. They're a lot more savvy with all the information and all the news and the talk about CTE and concussions in football. A lot of these younger players, with the amount of money that they're making in today's game, they're like, forget it, I don't want to do it anymore. And really, to be honest with you, I can't blame them. Like, why would Calvin Johnson go out there and subject himself to serious injury? And I'm talking serious injury, okay, as well as head trauma. I mean, the guy's got enough money for him, his family, his kids probably, his kids. So why go out there and do it? Okay, if you love the game, that's one thing. And I don't know if Calvin necessarily, and you know what, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I don't know if Calvin loves the game, and I believe he does love the game. But another aspect of this as well is Calvin also comes from a great upbringing. Like his mom is like a lawyer or something like that, and his dad worked at like the railroad, in which they make a ton of money with the railroad. And his dad worked for like one of these railroad companies for like 30-something years or whatever. So he comes from good people. He didn't come from a situation where he was poor and struggling coming out. I don't know, or I won't say he necessarily was rich or whatever, but he comes from a very good background. And if this is the case, man, I wish him good luck. Now, the question comes up, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The question comes up, obviously, naturally, is Calvin Johnson a Hall of Famer? Now, I've always said, and I'm very critical of these Hall of Fames and how they put in guys that I would call good, not great. You know, it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good. Here's one caveat to that whole thinking is if you're exceptional, if you're special, quote unquote special, I think you should be a Hall of Famer. When you say Calvin Johnson, he's got everything. He's got the stats, check. He's got the great nickname, Megatron, check. He's done it all at the highest level. And then the question I always ask myself is this as well, is if you had your opportunity to pick a team, and say in this case you're picking a wide receiver and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, at what point would you take Calvin Johnson? I would take Calvin Johnson before a lot of guys that are already in the Hall of Fame. If I were picking a team, we're not talking about looking at their stats or anything like that. You're talking about how special a guy was. I would take Calvin Johnson before I took Chris Carter. I mean, I can't put it any more succinctly than that. Chris Carter is a fantastic player. Stats probably dwarf Calvin Johnson's. I didn't do the comparison. But if I were picking a guy to catch the football for my football team that I was starting, and I was on the playground, I would take Calvin Johnson before I would take a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame. Chris Carter, Art Monk, just another guy that comes to mind. Fantastic players. I'm not saying anything negative towards those two guys. What I'm saying is, talent-wise, skill level-wise, Calvin Johnson is a guy I would take before those dudes. Now, his stats and his numbers are fantastic as well, but because he's kind of retiring a little bit premature, and because he doesn't have a ring, that question's going to come up. And we've seen this before. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is a guy that's not in the Hall of Fame, but Bo Jackson was special. Bo Jackson was special. You know Bo Jackson was better than a lot of guys that are in the Hall of Fame right now. You knew talent-wise, and it's almost kind of like that Gale Sayers thing. Gale Sayers had this short career, but back then, the people that voted on the Hall of Fame said Gale Sayers was so special, even though he had a short career, he's a Hall of Fame player. The same hadn't happened with Bo Jackson. We're going to see if the same, thing kind of happens to Calvin Johnson, and is he held up? I think he should be in. But I was reading some stuff on social media, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, where, somebody asked a question, and I looked at the post, and it was kind of like half and half. And people were saying, nah, he's not a Hall of Fame. And I'm like, what have you missed over the last 8 or 9 years of watching this guy play? Just dynamic, coming out of college, out of Georgia Tech. Once again, I'm in Atlanta, so I have a more vast experience with the guy and seeing what he's done in his career, not just in college. He was the only thing Georgia Tech had. Reggie Ball was the quarterback. If they didn't have Calvin Johnson when he was at Georgia Tech, they probably would have won 2 games a year. But Calvin Johnson personally won games for Georgia Tech. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, man? I think the guy's a Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the top 5 wide receivers I've probably ever seen in my life. Think about that, man. That's saying a lot, okay? If he's one of the first 5 guys, if I had my pool of every wide receiver that's ever played in the game, okay, all right, I think Calvin Johnson might fall in my top 5. Obviously, you're talking about Jerry Rice. You're talking about Randy Moss. And then I don't know. I'd have to sit and think about it a little bit more, man. Terrell Owens, who we're going to talk about here in a second, he might come into the conversation. Would I rather have T.O. or Calvin Johnson? I don't know. Terrell Owens' numbers are way better, but I'm telling you, you can't teach 6'5", 235 pounds that runs a 4.3 40. You remember that, right? You remember at the combine when Calvin Johnson didn't have his shoes or something like that, and he wasn't going to run, but they kept saying, "Are you scared to run?" He borrowed somebody's shoes and ran a 4.3. Come on, man. That dude is special. And that's all I'm saying. To be in the Hall of Fame, you should be special. And I think Calvin Johnson was special at the wide receiver position. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I'm not just politicking for this guy because he's a Georgia Tech alum, played here in the city, played in Atlanta. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying this dude was special. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we'll read some of your chat. We'll talk a little bit of birthdays. We do that around here on the Doug Stewart Show as well. I don't have anything prepared to sing for you. I don't. But maybe I'll play one of my classics from the past. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I sing. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, I actually sing as well. I mean, we do it all around here, man. We have, just an extreme amount of fun. Yeah. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show coming back next. Stay tuned.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Super Bowl 50 is here. Or it's almost here. But this is the week of it, man. So a little bit later, man, the Puppet Factory did a top 10 list of Denver Bronco players as well as Carolina Panthers players. I think the Panthers only been around about 20 years, man. So we'll look at that and discuss it and debate it a little bit. Coming up here soon on the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. A couple of birthdays today. Celebrating his 41st birthday today is one half of the world-famous Outkast. Big Boy turns 41 today. I should have some Big Boy music ready to play for y'all. The I Like the Way You Move video. You remember him and Dre did their own albums. One was The Love Below. The other was something else or whatever. But the video for I Like the Way You Move, the chick in the beginning of that video, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The chick at the beginning of that video, I don't know if she had plastic surgery or what. That might have been the finest woman to ever walk the face of the earth. Praise his holy name. Yes, sir! Black as night. Big old bosoms. Big old bunkie. I don't even know the chick's name. I don't think she ever did anything after that video, but, man, she was just tremendous. I absolutely love that chick in that video. So he turns 41 today. Happy birthday to Big Boy. And also celebrating his 79th birthday today is Stan from Martin, a.k.a. Garrett Morris. Happy birthday, 79 years old. Do y'all remember him from Saturday Night Live? I think Garrett Morris might have been like the first black dude on Saturday Night Live before Eddie Murphy. I'm pretty sure of that stat. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure of that stat. So happy birthday to Garrett Morris. Stan is a trip on Martin, and that's another show I watch. I don't care when, how many times I've seen the damn episode. Like Martin and Sanford and Son, man, and to a little bit lesser degree, Good Times. I don't care what. I don't care what I'm doing, okay? I don't care what's on any other channel new and everybody's talking about with all of these reality shows and all of this Real Housewives. Speaking of which, I want to talk about Kim Fields here in a second, but I watch those shows, man, like I had never seen that show or those shows before, man. Just phenomenal stuff. And Stan was the man. Stan was the man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I talked a little bit in the first segment or in the last segment about Calvin Johnson that I think he's a Hall of Fame player. I do. And, I say it all the time. This is another signature thing for me. is stats lie all the time. And, yeah, there's a lot of wide receivers that have better stats, okay? And you do have to put stats into the equation as well. I'm not saying, F stats and stats, lie fully. I'm saying stats lie all the time. And people get mad at me when I say, if I'm had the opportunity to pick a wide receiver, that I'm going to take Randy Moss before I take Jerry Rice. And I know that's blasphemous to a lot of people, but that's real. Just like I said for Calvin Johnson, the measurables, are huge. And the fact that Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss, even to a larger degree, man, were triple teamed sometimes, and they still came away with the football. And not only could they go downfield and catch the deep ball, but they ran routes as great as well, had great hands, fantastic hands. You can't say anything about those two guys negatively about their game on the field. Yes, they may not have had the stats of Jerry Rice and guys like that, Chris Carter, maybe, but those guys, to me, are a much bigger threat, and they have a much bigger impact on the defense and on the secondary than a lot of guys with better stats, man. I think Calvin Johnson's a Hall of Famer. We'll see. And you know what? We're talking about this. This might be a little bit early because maybe Calvin comes back. Maybe this whole thing is just a big misunderstanding or something like that. And maybe Calvin Johnson comes back to the Detroit Lions next year. We will see. Let me read some of your chat, man. Thank you so much for the chat. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, jump into the chat room on Spreaker.com and post your thoughts, and I'll read a lot of what you're saying about today's topics, all right? So from Ace Foster, he said it also doesn't help that he played for the Lions. How many Lions in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, it's never going to help playing for the Detroit Lions. Let me see here. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. For new people to the show that have never heard me, this show, the Two Live Stews, which is a show I did with me and my brother, Ryan Stewart, for over 11 years. First Take, we did a lot of stuff that you should know us from. But if you don't for some reason, my brother played for the Detroit Lions, okay? And so he played for the Lions for 5 years, and so kind of gotten a little bit intimate as far as Lions and Lions history. So Detroit Lions in the Hall of Fame. Alan Wojciechowicz. I don't know who the hell that was. He went into the Hall of Fame in he played from 1938 to 1946. Obviously, I don't know who that is. Barry Sanders is in. Bill Dudley, don't know who that is. Bobby Lane, heard of the name but don't know who he is. Charlie Sanders. All of they players, like all of the Lions players went in pre-1960. Dick LeBeau, who's a legendary defensive coach, he went in. He played from 1959 to 1972. The great Doak Walker, the Doak Walker Award in college. He went in from 1950 to 1955, where he played with those years. Earl Dutch Clark, Curly Culp. Curly Culp played or went in 1980 and 81. I'm sorry. And that's it. That's it. So really the only, and most of y'all listening to the show are my demo. You're probably in your mid-40s, maybe a little bit early. We got a lot of younger cats to listen to. That's probably like in the early 30s at the most. There's no one really on this list that most people my age would recognize. Barry Sanders, that's it. Even Dick LeBeau, we know Dick LeBeau as a coach, as a great defensive coordinator. But we don't know Dick LeBeau and his time in the NFL and what he did. So that's it. Curly Culp, Bobby Lane. I mean, and we probably got a couple of old school cats in here, maybe in their late 50s, early 60s that listen to the Doug Stewart Show, and I appreciate your patronage. But that's it. You're right. So I don't know how much it's going to help or hurt Calvin Johnson. I know one thing. If you look at everything in his skill set and what he did, and I kind of hate that year where he had his best year where he had the 1,900-plus yards. I really hate that he didn't cross over 2,000 yards. That would have been incredible, and I don't think there's ever been a wide receiver that had receptions over 2,000 yards in an NFL season. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been, because if anybody else would have done it, it would have been Randy Moss, and Randy Moss hadn't done it. And it would have been that year that he played for the New England Patriots where Tom Brady had like the 50 touchdown passes. So, yeah, I really wish, and maybe it would have been something like that would have pushed him over the top easier. And he still may get in, and we're kind of talking like he's not going to get in. He still may get in. But I don't think it would have been a question if he had done something like that and had receptions for over 2,000 yards in one season. You just could not deny him, man. Fantastic player. Fantastic player. That Ninja says, Doug, are you high? No, I'm not. I do not smoke the Chiba Chiba. I don't know. I guess he disagrees with me on my thoughts on Calvin Johnson. From Loose Neck, JJ Did It Sigh. Doug Williams and Everson Walls, the only two ninjas I like to come out of Grambling. The rest can kick rocks. Who else came out of Grambling that played in the NFL of prominence? And there's probably a lot of other players. Obviously with black players only being able to play at HBCUs back in the day, I'm sure there's been a bunch of more players that have played in the NFL. But the only ones that I know of are Doug Williams, off the top of my head, are Doug Williams and Everson Walls, played defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys during their heyday. Him and Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett, and Roger Staubach, that era. And maybe they brought that up because this weekend, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, this weekend I posted a meme where I listed the only players in the state of South Carolina that played for a university in the state of South Carolina that made it to the Hall of Fame, went to South Carolina State. And so maybe that's where the conversation came from in the chat room. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. From Ace Foster, Andre Reed had crazy numbers and didn't get in until his third or fourth attempt. Yeah. Here's another part of this. And once again, I don't want y'all to think that I'm hating on Andre Reed or anybody like that. Andre Reed was a fantastic receiver. Made it to the Super Bowl, 4 times with the Buffalo Bills. They run that K-gun offense with Jim Kelly there. Another part of this is you got to try to, and maybe it's going to be incorporated in the selection process, you got to kind of temper, the stat thing even more to a bigger degree in today's football because of how much they throw the ball around, okay? And really, Andre Reed and Jim Kelly, that K-gun, like they really kind of were like the start of all like that. I guess you could go back further to the Chargers, to Air Coryell. But, yeah, in Buffalo those many years where they went to those Super Bowls, man, they used to throw the ball around a gazillion times, and that's even more so today. So people always have a real heated debate and conversation about, in particular, Lynn Swann and John Stallworth and how their numbers, Stallworth's numbers were better than Lynn Swann's, but how Lynn Swann got into the Hall of Fame, because if you look at Lynn Swann's numbers, his numbers say he's not a Hall of Famer. But you add in all of the rings and all of the dynamic, just incredible catches that he made, plus he was a Pittsburgh Steeler, and plus his name was Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann was synonymous with catching the football. So you got to kind of temper in and factor in a lot of stuff like that, man. But just remember, and I'm not throwing shade on the younger players today, but their opportunity for bigger numbers are much better than the players of like the 70s and the early 80s or whatever, okay? And once again, I continue to say this. This is another one of my things. Use your eyes, okay? Yeah, Swann's numbers may not have been all of that, but you looked at Lynn Swann. You remember Lynn Swann's career. You know that Lynn Swann could catch that ball like nobody else. You know that Lynn Swann made fantastic catches in clutch situations. So, I'm just saying, don't always just look at the stats. Use your eyes. Lynn Swann was a Hall of Fame type player, man. He was. Wide receiver, he was. All right, when we get back from the break, all I'm going to do is read chat. Let's talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl and do what we do around here. Sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Listen to an urban station that matters. Hustler Hype Radio. Hustler Hype Radio has gone from being ranked at 7,000 to being ranked at 2,000 in the overall rankings on Live 365 in just 4 months. We are out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and take efforts to help promote the independent R&B hip-hop artists around the world. You can listen to Hustler Hype Radio by going to the website hustlerhype.weebly.com. Hustler Hype is a No Bets radio partner You can even find us on TuneIn. Follow us on Twitter at Hustla Radio. If you are an artist looking to be heard, you can submit your music to hustlahype@gmail.com. You can also contact us at 937-912-1557. That's 937-912-1557.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, treeless sports and guy talk show in America. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. My man Andre Elam says in the chat, talking about this whole Hall of Fame thing, wide receiver thing, where it concerns Calvin Walker. Or Calvin Johnson. Calvin Walker's my homeboy that just decided he's going to open up his own barbershop. True story. But he says in today's football, you can't touch the wide receivers and you definitely can't lay the boom on them. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. Once again, I'm not trying to disrespect today's wide receivers, but today's wide receivers' numbers are going to be tremendously overinflated. They are. And I saw last night when I was watching the Pro Bowl, and I had it on. I really wasn't watching it, to be honest with you. But they showed the stats. You know, Jerry Rice was the coach of one team, and Michael Irvin was the coach of the other. And they showed their stats. And like Jerry Rice's stats, another one of those teams that threw around a gazillion times in relative terms to the era, Jerry Rice's stats were like double Michael Irvin's. Like touchdowns, wide receivers, not exactly, but they were almost double to what Michael Irvin's numbers were. But once again, if you use your eyes and you don't just rely on stats and you watch the games and you know anything about players, you know that Michael Irvin was one of the best to ever do it, Shawty. You know he was. The playmaker. You know it. So I hear what y'all saying, man, and you know, Michael Irvin does have on his side the 3 Super Bowl wins, so that definitely helped catapult them. And I think with the Steelers players, there's a half of the Steelers from the 70s are in the Hall of Fame because of all of the rings that they won. Okay, I get that. That's part of it. But if you let in Chris Carter, if you let in Curtis Martin, okay, no disrespect once again to those guys, fantastic players. But if you let in Chris Carter and you let in Curtis Martin, they don't have any rings to speak of. So what you're saying to the fans is that's not the all-in be-all, okay? And, man, simply put, man, Calvin Johnson's one of the best I've ever seen to do it. And I think I have a very good eye for this type of things, man. And I watch the games. I watch the guy's skill set. You just can't go in there once again and look at stats and think that tells the entire story. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I see a bunch of people in the chat room talking about Kim Fields, and a lot of y'all follow me on social media. And so last night, I'm watching the Pro Bowl, and I go upstairs. I'm in my basement watching the Pro Bowl. I go upstairs, go get me, something to drink or whatever. And I pass by, and the wife's watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I don't watch that damn show. I detest that show. So I stopped, and she was talking to me, and Kim Fields was in this particular episode, or she's on this season, but she says something in the episode last night, and my wife turns around and looks at me, and you can tell that Kim Fields is just very uncomfortable, okay? And I've seen clips before, and I've walked by, and same thing has happened, and I stop for a minute or two and just watch with her, and my wife turns to me, and she says, they're probably not going to let Kim Fields come back on next year. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, she's just not ratchet enough. That's how my wife talks, literally. If you know my wife, you know that's exactly how she sounds. She's just not ratchet enough. She's just not ratchet enough. They're not going to let her back on next year. I'm like, step back and think about what you just said. You are mad. She's like, I'm not mad. I'm just saying they're not going to have her back. They're not going to have her back. Basically, what she was saying is that in 2016, that type of thing sells. And I made the comment to her, when I saw Kim Fields on this show earlier this year, like, why would Kim Fields, degrade herself by going on that show? Why? And so now there's this speculation out there that Kim Fields is hard up for money, man, and you can tell if you watch her on there, man. All I see is Tootie. That's all I'm ever going to see whenever I see Kim Fields is Tootie from Facts of Life. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, damn, it's almost like Sesame Street. One of these things are not like the others. One of these things aren't doing the same or whatever that thing was, man. And you got all of the ratchetness going on around there, Kenya and all of them other women on there, man. And Kim Fields is on there, trying her best not to just buy into all of this ratchetness. And, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And I guess she needed a check. And you know what? In 2016, that's what we got. Once again, we're living in a time, Fessa. And so maybe she doing what she got to do. Maybe, the phones isn't ringing like it used to back in the day. I don't know. I mean, I can kind of identify with that, but at what point do you just, forget your morals? And maybe it's not even that deep. Maybe I'm just looking at this thing, deeper than what it really is. But I just hate to see Kim Fields on something like that, man. She's a thespian. She's a real-life thespian. Yeah. She's a real-life thespian. Like Kim Fields been acting. Her mama is an acting coach. Her crazy-ass mama off of Good Times that took that iron to her ass. They're thespians. They've been in this game a long, long time, man, and I just hate to see it reduced to doing reality shows. And especially that particular reality show. And I'm not mad at nobody making their money, man, but I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do. I don't think Kim Fields should identify her brand with that damn show. Listen to the Doug Stewart Show. From Clay Davis, a.k.a. Doug Williams. Rich people don't need reality show money. Yeah, and maybe Kim Fields isn't rich. From that ninja, hypothetical Hall of Fame and Housewives talk. Wow, exactly. I mean, it's a complete gamut around here. We cover the full spectrum, Shawty. From Vince Wright, because residuals for Facts of Life ain't ish. Can you imagine the ishy contract she signed for Facts of Life 25 years ago? Or 30 years ago, probably. They probably took her for everything she got. From Bussa, preach, Doug. Yeah. From Grego Ardario. Kim going to show y'all what real mothers of ATL look like. Yeah, I mean, you know what? And she's very, very classy. You can tell, and she really just tries to, like, separate herself from all of the foolishness going on from that show, from the little clips that I seen, man. And, you know, I guess she's doing her best, but clearly, and when I posted this comment on Facebook, a ton of people responded. It was like, your wife is exactly right. Like, all the people that are faithful and watch this show, because of the ratchetness, even they can see that Kim Fields doesn't fit with the rest of these chicks on here. You know, and what they trying to do and all of the stuff that they manufacture as far as the drama. So it's really a sad thing, man. Damn, and that's why, you know, this one thing I hate about us, man. We don't support our community, man, and people in their endeavors. You know, especially when you talk about rappers, man. Like, why is it when you get old as a rap artist, then you're old and we don't want to hear from you anymore and you can't get a record deal? Why Kim Fields can't get a legitimate job somewhere, man? Why? Because surely if Kim Fields had a legitimate acting job on TV, on movies or whatever, I don't think she's ever really done movies. But if she could get a legitimate job on TV, she wouldn't do this. She would scoff at this. The fact that she even read the damn script or looked at the contract and is actually doing it, man, I guess, you know, what it kind of says that she needs to do it, you know. So, I mean, we just living in a time, Fessa. We just living in a time. Yeah, I know. Studio audience doesn't even like it, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yeah, man. I see a lot of y'all feel the same way as I do. From Smitty, I feel you, Doug. I can't watch any reality television shows. Sad. Like, do I watch any reality shows? Do I watch any of the reality shows? No. I mean, outside of those, like on the cooking channel or whatever, man, where they do Top Chefs, where they do Ninja Chef Warrior, I watch that type of thing. You know, just when there's nothing else on, I'll flip to it and I'll stop. I think it's intriguing the way you can fillet and cook a salmon 50 different ways. I don't know. But Real Housewives and all those, like the Housewives thing is a franchise. There's like 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Green Bay, Real Housewives of Moncks Corner. It's kind of sad when you think about it. All right, when we get back from the break, man, hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Keep your hands off the dial. Stay right there. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Doug Stewart here to tell you about the folks at Strickland Security and one of their new security services. As I've told you before, these guys are your security experts, but what you didn't know is that they also handle security coverage for celebrities and special events here in Atlanta. Due to popular demand, the team at Strickland Security has created Celebrity Night Out Security Transportation Service. Want to impress the wife or girlfriend? Want to make sure your wife or your daughter is safe while out on the town with friends? You need this service. With a Celebrity Night Out service, 2 licensed and trained security professionals in black suits will pick you up in a black SUV and will deliver you and your party to your destination. These trained professionals can either stay by your side during the evening or wait for you outside. With these guys, you can truly relax and enjoy yourself because they're going to ensure your safe return home. Uber is a great service, but let's face it, they don't have your back if something goes wrong. In other words, if something pops off, they gone. So, whether you're planning something special, attending a holiday party, or just looking to have a stress-free night on the town, contact the team at Strickland Security and ask them about the Celebrity Night Out service. Trust me on this one. You will look and feel like a true celebrity or the president and the first lady. Yes, sir. Contact Strickland Security at 800-422-9075 or StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, baby. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday, February 1st, 2016. Super Bowl 50 this weekend. And I can't wait, man. Panthers still favored by 6 in the game. I read a story this morning, a lot of money starting to come in on Denver, though. 6 points is a lot for any game. Now, I think the Carolina Panthers are going to roll, but listen, I mean, it is the Super Bowl. This is the Denver Broncos. They've had the best defenses all year long. So, I mean, 6 is a lot in an NFL game, but I really think this is going to be a blowout, but we will see. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. The show was brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? ID Life is Troy Aikman, Shaquille O'Neal, and other reputable athletes and celebrities that promote the product and are in business with the folks from ID Life. If you want to get more information, go to thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. That's thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. Great products, individualized based on you, and what your answers are on the assessment test, the free assessment that you can take. So check out ID Life, man. An incredible business opportunity as well if you're interested in that. So once again, thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. Also, have you heard about the Triple F campaign? The Triple F campaign stands for $5 for the flavor. If you've been listening, for the last 30 minutes, if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, you can tell we really got it going on around here. Yes, sir. But this is a fledgling business. And we are providing a service, for the most part, you don't pay for at all. I mean, a free service. You get entertained around here. 10 hours a week for free. But this is independent radio, man. If you can, man, donate $5 for the flavor. Go to thedugstewartshow.com, click on the donate button, and donate $5 one time a month. That's all, one time a month to the Doug Stewart Show, man. Simply look at it as you're buying your boy a beer, Heineken. And I really would appreciate it, man. It's easy, safe, secure through PayPal. And so you got like 3 clicks, no lie. And that's all we ask is that you donate $5 one time a month, and we really would appreciate it. The Pro Bowl last night, man, a couple interesting news and notes, I guess, from the Pro Bowl last night. As far as the Atlanta Falcons, man, Julio Jones caught a touchdown. What's his name? Devontae Freeman got a touchdown as well. Marcus, what's his name? Trufant actually didn't play a lot last night. He only registered 1 tackle. And also, they had your boy Devontae Freeman playing defensive back. They were having a little fun with that. Yeah, be careful with that. Better be careful with that. If Devontae Freeman goes out there and hurts himself playing defensive back, Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank, going to sue somebody's ass. I'm going to tell you that. You better be careful with that. I mean, it really wasn't even anybody at the damn game. You would think that you got one NFL game a year, and technically it's a game. You got one NFL game a year with all the Pro Bowl type players, the All-Star type players from the league. You would think they would sell that damn stadium out. But that ain't the case. Half that damn stadium is empty, man. Even they don't like that crappy game. Even our Hawaiian brethren don't like that crappy game, man. So a lot of talk over the last couple of days, and I've heard more talk about it this morning, about just getting rid of the game. And I've been saying this for years. Go to a skills competition, line up the fastest guys you think in the NFL, run a 100-yard dash, see who, quote-unquote, is the fastest guy in the NFL, do a big, autograph signing, do interviews for a couple of hours, man. But the money today is too big. The contracts are too big to risk your best players to go out there. And if you watch, they're not even tackling anymore. They're not even tackling. They're locking up guys. Basically, they're grabbing guys. They're holding guys. But I'm going to guess half of the tackles last night, the person they were tackling, the defenders were tackling, didn't even hit the ground because they just held them up. So the whole game is just a farce. I mean, get rid of it. Get rid of it. In a country where we're smart enough, allegedly, to put a man on the moon, and I did say allegedly because you know good well that crap didn't happen. What am I, blasphemous? I'm unpatriotic now? You know good well we didn't go no damn moon. But let's just play along. In a country where we're good enough and we're smart enough to put a man on the moon, surely billionaires can come together and figure out a more entertaining program than the Pro Bowl. So just stop it. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I'm going to talk about Johnny Manziel, man. I'm starting to think, and I can do it right now, I guess. It's not something I want to stay on. I guess, and I've said it like a week ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I don't think this Johnny Manziel thing is going to happen, is going to work out in Cleveland. Not only that, but I also believe now, based on my boy calling me from a nightclub in Dallas, telling me he was in the VIP taking shots with Johnny Manziel, I don't think Johnny Manziel is probably going to play football again. Not only that, with this latest story, police were called to investigate an incident involving Cleveland Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel in Fort Worth, Texas, early on Saturday. He was questioned by police in October after a domestic incident involving a girlfriend at the time, though it was not immediately clear whether the same woman was involved in the accident. Johnny Manziel, word on the street, has been, putting hands on his old lady. To the degree I don't know, okay? I'm starting to think now, and it's crazy, he hadn't been arrested in either one of these two cases. Not only, and I've come full circle on this whole thing, not circus. I've come full circle on this whole thing because I really believe that, if he wanted to have a good time on his own time, on his free time, that wasn't a problem. after what my boy told me last week about dude partying in the nightclub just a couple of weeks after he got scolded by his team, the Cleveland Browns, on the same type of stuff. After, a couple of stories where he allegedly putting hands on women, I'm thinking that this Johnny Manziel story might not end well. Okay? And I'm not going to even put it out in the atmosphere. The tongue speaks life or death. So I'm not going to put it out there. But you've seen cats like this, man. You probably grew up with cats like this that were clearly out of control, okay? And then magically, something tragic happens. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm not saying I want Johnny Manziel to get ran over by a Mack truck, anything like this, man. But clearly, this dude is out of control, okay? Clearly he is, okay? He doesn't want to play football. Okay, he may play football again, and I think I need to, rephrase that. He may play football again, okay, because that's what people expect him to do, and he makes a lot of money doing it. He may play football again, but I don't think he wants to play. I do not think that Johnny Manziel wants to play football, and that's fine if he doesn't. We always take this perspective that, how can these cats walk away from the game? Kind of like this Calvin Johnson thing, man. It ain't that easy. It ain't as easy as you think. You just watch him on Sunday. You watch the end product. There's trials and tribulations leading up to the game in football. And so if he don't want to play football, that's fine. But I really do believe he don't want to play football. And this type of volatile behavior, there's something going on. He hadn't been arrested yet, but there's something going on with him putting hands on his old lady. There is. And the police continue to ignore it. This thing might end tragically, man, because this dude is out of control. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com from KC, but Hard Knocks is not scripted like most of these reality shows. Yeah, I wouldn't even put Hard Knocks, HBO's Hard Knocks, in the category of reality shows. If you're just joining us, I talked about, my disdain for watching Kim Fields on this Real Housewives of Atlanta show. And I just hate to see something like that. It's almost like she's stooping to their level. She's getting paid, and maybe she has an idea where she can parlay this thing into something big. I don't know, man, but it's just not a good look for somebody like Kim Fields, her old fine ass. Good Lord. Now, she used to be fine. I saw my man Andre Elam in here. He says, Kim Fields let that body get blocked up. Should have been exercising and getting that lipo when she was in Hollywood. Yeah, Kim Fields got that old lady weight on her, man. Couple kids here and there. One too many bonbons. I get it. But just let me remember Kim Fields from the Facts of Life days once again, when she had two of the, or I guess technically it's a pair of the biggest, most beautiful breastises in Hollywood. Yes, sir. She went and had that reduction surgery, which I am a huge, huge proponent of that. Don't do that. Good Lord gave you them bosoms. Don't get rid of them. Yes, sir. Y'all remember Kim Fields breast surgery? Man. You talk about tatas for days. Yes, Lord. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, don't go away. When we get back from the break, man, let's talk a little bit about the top 10 players. So says the Puppet Factory, from the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers all time. We will have a little fun with that. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir. Kim Fields bosom. Yes, sir. What is ID Life? Well, over the last 18 years, a group of scientists and doctors have been working on the development of a one-of-a-kind nutritional supplement program that takes all the guesswork out of what you need and delivers your truly personalized pharmaceutical-grade nutrition with your name on it directly to your door. Through the integration of thousands of medical and scientific studies, answers you provide to the free assessment, and more than 5,470 algorithms that process the data, ID Nutrition recommends what you need, leaves out what you don't, and blocks things known to the system to have possible adverse effects based on the answers you provide. The result is a program that is revolutionizing the health and wellness industry. Welcome to ID Life. For more information, just go to thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. That's thedugstewartshow.idlife.com. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday. Super Bowl 50 week. And both teams are in Cali. They're kind of like in the Bay Area. Santa Clara, I think, is where the Super Bowl was at this year. And I can't wait, man. Can't wait. Should be a good game. Got two good teams in it. Do you or anyone you know listening to the Doug Stewart Show right now under the sound of my voice, do you have a good online radio, or do you know someone has a good online radio show or podcast, but you don't have listeners? You don't have a lot of listeners because it's just hard to get the word out on this platform, on this medium. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. A big thing we're doing with the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network is we're broadcasting other shows. That's right. We have over 10,000 followers to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, many of whom, most of which are sports fans, obviously. We do have a big contingent of women that listen to the show as well and to the network. Over 400,000 listens to the network. And so, hey, man, if you want to do business with us, man, you got a great product, but you don't have, a lot of people that know about it. It's kind of like that tree if it falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it or something like that. You know what I mean. Break bread with us. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Outside of that as well, we can interview you on the Doug Stewart Show. We can promote you on social media. We can or host or speak at your event. Play your music on the show. We do all those things on Fiverr.com. So check me out on Fiverr.com as well. Just search the Doug Stewart Show and you'll see all of the different gigs, as they call them, on there as well. So the Puppet Factory put out their top 10 players in the history of the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. Let's start with the Broncos. Number 10, cornerback Lewis Wright and wide receiver Rod Smith. Rod Smith had the big touchdown in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, many years ago. This was 1998 against the Atlanta Falcons. Number 9, they've got Steve Atwater. Now, if you've heard me on the Doug Stewart Show before, you know I'm a big fan of Atwater. I don't think he gets enough praises. I think he should be a Hall of Famer, which he's not. You're talking about the blueprint of a safety. Basically, the dude was a big-ass linebacker, playing safety, kind of like Thomas Davis if he played safety for Carolina. But safety Steve Atwater comes in at number 9. I think that's a little bit low. When you hear some of the other names I'm going to tell you about, you'll understand why. Number 8, defensive end Carl Mecklenburg. Number 7, linebacker Randy Gradishar. Number 6, running back Floyd Little. I don't remember Floyd Little before my time. Number 5, tight end Shannon Sharp. Number 4, Champ Bailey. A little interesting that, and I don't have too much of a problem with it. A little bit interesting that they have Champ Bailey ahead of Shannon Sharp. Now, remember, Shannon played for the Baltimore Ravens as well, so I get that. But I kind of seems like I know Champ, a lot from his time in Washington. But anyway, they've got Champ Bailey, played in the league for a very, very long time at a very, very high level. That's another guy that's you kind of question whether he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame. A lot of y'all will probably say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he plays defensive back, and it's not that easy to get into the Hall of Fame as a secondary player. So at number 5, they got Shannon Sharp. Number 4, they got Champ Bailey. Number 3, they got Peyton Manning. Once again, kind of an issue with, naming a guy as the best player in a team's history that really most fans know him from another team. Obviously we know Peyton Manning from the Indianapolis Colts. Really the last couple of years here in Denver have really been his swan song. I mean, he's been good, took them to a Super Bowl. This is going to be the second Super Bowl. But, we know Peyton Manning as an Indianapolis Colts. You've only been around Denver for a couple of years. Denver's been around and been to a lot of Super Bowls. They lost a lot of Super Bowls in John Elway's early years. But they've had a lot of success. I mean, they've been the best team in the AFC a ton. If you factor in all of the years of Elway and the last recent years. So the Denver Broncos, as far as the AFC, is one of the best teams in football over its history. And a guy who really, has been finishing out his career, and all of his prominent years were with another organization. You got him at number 3. Okay. Number 2, they got running back Terrell Davis. Another interesting one, kind of, sort of. Really the guy that helped propel them to the Super Bowls in 97 and 98, in which they won both of those. Elway, once again, had a lot of years where, they went to the Super Bowl, but they were unsuccessful. And until he got that real stout running game that Terrell Davis provided, they really, really, really struggled in the big game. So they have Terrell Davis at number 2, another guy that's not in the Hall of Fame, but a lot of y'all will argue that should be in the Hall of Fame. Or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame based on his short career and his limited stats. I kind of feel a little bit different about Terrell Davis. I think Terrell Davis was fantastic, but he doesn't have the stats. And I don't think, once again, if you're a Bronco fan, don't take offense to this. I don't think Terrell Davis was special. You understand? Terrell Davis was very good, but it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good. So he had 2 things working against him. One, he had a short career, relatively short career, where he was on top, kind of like a shooting star. And the other part of that is I just don't believe Terrell Davis was special. Like, I don't see putting Terrell Davis, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I don't think it's cool to put Terrell Davis in the same Hall of Fame, that you got Tony Dorsett or O.J. Simpson. You understand what I'm saying? He was good, but he wasn't Tony Dorsett, O.J. Simpson, Franco Harris good, or Emmitt Smith good. So they got him at number 2. And number 1, they got John Elway. You knew that was going to be the case. John Elway is the number 1 player in Denver Broncos history. Now, the Carolina Panthers, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Number 10, they got Jordan Gross. Now, keep in mind, Carolina's only been around, I think, for 20 years. So they got Jordan Gross, 3-time Pro Bowl tackle at number 10. At number 9, they've got Ryan Khalil, another offensive lineman. At number 8, they've got Greg Olsen, tight end. Once again, a guy who had many of his years in Chicago. It's kind of split with Greg Olsen, though. A lot of years in Chicago, but probably just as many years in Carolina. And he's pretty much been Cam's guy. Like, imagine if, if Carolina, they didn't have Benjamin this year. He got hurt at the start of the season. Imagine if they didn't have Greg Olsen. Yeah, just imagine if they didn't have Greg Olsen. Just a beast of a player, another Miami tight end who they put out a bunch of great tight ends from the University of Miami. So he comes in at number 8. Number 7, they've got John Casey. Bookmark that. John Casey is a damn kicker. Bookmark that. We'll talk about that more in a second. Number 6, you got Luke Kuechly, who's just a phenomenal player, man. Might be the best linebacker in the league. Inside linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. Number 5, they've got Thomas Davis. And it's kind of like similar to that whole conversation about Sam Mills, who we'll get to in a second. Kind of like an inspirational leader. You know the stories. He's had 3 ACLs. Now he's broken his arm. This is a guy that's just basically been able to overcome adversity like no one else has ever in the league, and pretty much been the vocal leader of that defense ever since he's been in Carolina. So they got Thomas Davis at number 5. Number 4, they've got Julius Peppers. Number 3, they've got Steve Smith Sr. Absolutely love that. Number 2, they got number 2. They got Cam at number 2. And you know who they have at number 1? It's Sam Mills, a.k.a. the Field Mouse. Now, Sam Mills, once again, this is a guy who I would remember first. If you mention Sam Mills to me, the linebacker, if you mention Sam Mills to me, the first thing that I'm going to remember or I'm going to say about Sam Mills is the Saints. Him playing for the Saints for as many, many years. He actually played in the USFL for a minute because no one would give him a job in the NFL because of his size. He was like 5'8", 5'9", but just a hellified beast of a player, like a tackling machine. But the thing with Sam Mills is, once again, inspirational leader. This is a guy who, when he was suffering from cancer and right before he died, when the Panthers made it to the Super Bowl many years ago when they took on the Patriots and the Patriots won, obviously, he was like the inspirational leader. And he talked about keep pounding throughout their run throughout that year, and that became their moniker. You've seen the hashtag, I'm sure, a lot. The hashtag keep pounding when you're talking about the Carolina Panthers. That came from Sam Mills. So he played the game in a rough, tough, aggressive manner, even though he wasn't that big. So it kind of encapsulated the attitude that Jerry Richardson, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, would like for his players and his team to have. And he actually has a statue in front of the stadium in Charlotte, man. So they've got Sam Mills number 1. Hey, I love an inspirational story just as much as the next guy. I do. But come on, man. I get it. I kind of get it. But that's not even close. The best player in Carolina Panthers history, man, is Cam Newton. Now, he's young, but the man single-handedly put the team on his back to take him to a Super Bowl in which they're favored. They're 17-1. And, a lot of times the Puppet Factory does these things just to get a rise out of us as fans, and so they kind of did it. And I get you trying to pay respect and homage to the great Sam Mills, but come on, man, let's just keep it real. Just keep it real, man. Golly. And is that lightweight shade that the Puppet Factory is throwing on Cam? We've been talking about it over the last week. Obviously, it's since they punched their ticket to go to the Super Bowl, of all of this hate that Cam is getting. Is this kind of like a dry hating type situation where they have Cam Newton as number 2 and not number 1? I don't know. Kind of interesting. All right, when we get back from the break, man, all I'm going to do is read chat, man. Thank you so much for being totally interactive to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. We'll read some of your chat when we get back from the break. And also, T.O. starting to get some hate because of this whole Hall of Fame thing. We'll talk about that too, but we'll read your chat first, all right? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Dougie sings the hits. Dougie sings the hits. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, trillest sports and guy talk show in America. But around here, we sing too. And we pay homage to the greats. Happy birthday to the great Charlie Wilson. This is Doug Stewart style. Let's go.
Hey girl, how you doing? My name is Dougie, last name Stewart. I was wondering if I could take you out, show you a good time, invite you to my house. Here is my number, girl, you can call me. And don't forget it, baby, the name is Dougie. With all of this fortune, what am I doing single? Sometimes I tell myself, man, get out and mingle. You don't have to be alone, you need someone to love.
Yes,
but
sir.
being famous, sometimes it's hard to find someone to trust.
Go ahead,
hell
boy.
with that this time, I'm gonna treat myself.
Yes, sir.
Being in love is good for your health. It's time to share this fortune and fame with
Yes, sir.
someone else. Now that I'm in this club, I might as well say, girl, my name is Dougie, last name Stewart. Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart
Yes, sir.
Show.
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you're new to the show, man, that's just a little sample of what I do every once in a while around here, man. As I give the gift of song, man, and if you're new, you're absolutely welcome, man. You're absolutely welcome. Oh man, Damn, that ninja got it going on. Hey, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, bringing you this segment and bringing you Dougie Sings the Hits, or my folks from Strickland Security, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. They have over 55 years of combined experience in the business of protecting your home, man, with their fantastic alarm systems. Whether you just need to get your alarm system fixed, whether you need the basic alarm system starting at just $15 a month, or you might need the big boy alarm system with all the lights and and whistles and bells and cameras and all of that stuff, man. My folks at Strickland Security are some of the best in the business. All you got to do, if you want to check them out, if you're tired of your alarm company, go online to StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com, and make sure you tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 404-382-0338. Let me read a couple of these messages in the chat room. I knew y'all were going to have a field day with that whole Kim Fields talk. Clay Davis, a.k.a. Doug Williams. Kim Fields' sister's breasts are better. I don't know who her sister is. They might be better right now, but not pre-surgery. They were better. From Kaza. Kaza says, reduction surgery should be illegal. I agree with you 100%, sir. From Cleotis, laugh out loud, Doug. The good Lord gave you them. That's right. The good Lord gave you them breast assists. Why would you? Just seems wrong, man. Just seems wrong. From Loose Nick Side, West Texas Ninja. From West Texas Ninja, but her back couldn't take the weight. And do some damn deadlifts or something. Take your ass in the gym and do some deadlifts. Back will get strong. From Rel Scott, Tootie should have kept her twins. I agree, man. I agree. Good Lord. Ooh. I think when the show's done today, man, I might jump on YouTube and see, watch some clips of her on our Facts of Life days, which is kind of coasting off in the bad waters because she was a youth at the time. She was a juvenile at the time, and I'm almost 50 years old, and I go back and looking at Kim Fields' footage from 1980. It's probably not a good look. I don't need to do that. Hey, just forget I said anything about that. Yes, sir. Just forget I said that. Just forget I said anything about that. Going looking back at a 15-year-old Kim Fields. Now, she's my age. So when I was watching her, and when I was, had Google eyes over her or whatever on Facts of Life, it was proper. It was the equivalent of a teenage boy looking at a teenage girl, And so, but now if I go back, I think it's breaking some type of pervert law. So I definitely won't do that. Just ignore me saying anything about going back and looking at Kim Fields from 1979. Just forget that, okay? More of your chat. Just forget that. From Cleo to 72, they will be trying so hard to find anyone other than Cam to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. If the kicker gets his kick blocked and he falls in the ball, he will probably be the MVP of the Super Bowl. Man, you know what? It's kind of like a love-hate relationship with Cam, though, because he gives the media so much good stuff to talk about. I almost feel like that's not going to happen. Like, if he has an adequate game, unless somebody, gets 2 or 3 interceptions, one ran back for a touchdown, or Jonathan Stewart's rushes for 250 yards and a couple touchdowns, Cam Newton should be the MVP. Because once again, he's good behind the camera, great personality, and yeah, there's some underlying hate to dude, and all of this comes from ESPN not having him as the number 1 player in Carolina Panthers history. That's where this conversation comes from. I saw somebody in the chat room also say, Sam Mills was good, but usually your quarterback is the number 1 in any of these type polls. And that's right. Can you imagine any other poll of a great team, and their players not being led off with the quarterback? Even if you go back to, I don't know, the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people will argue Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back of all time. I bet you dollars to nickels that they would try to put Troy Aikman at the top of that list because he was the quarterback, and he's responsible for everything pretty much. And they give them so much credit, when they're good. And Troy Aikman was a fantastic player. But, yeah, in what poll, in talking about the best players of a team's, organization in its history, where the first player isn't going to be a quarterback? I find that very unlikely. Now, once again, Cam is kind of young, but I don't care. Sam Mills only played 3 years for the Carolina Panthers. What? Listen, once again, I'm all for an inspirational story, but just stop it. Sam Mills played 3 years for the Carolina Panthers at the end of his career. Let's just be real about this. No, he does not and has not meant when he was playing, when he was alive, he did not mean more to that organization and had better performances on the field that led to wins more so than Cam Newton. I don't care how young he is. So just stop that. And they got me. They got me even talking about this crap, so I guess it worked. From Loose Neck, JJ did it, sigh. Tootie had it going on back then. Gary Coleman had a crush on her, but he couldn't do nothing with that. Oh, no. Gary Coleman couldn't do nothing with no damn Kim Fields. It's been a waste of time. From Bootsy, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. They needed him in '93 when he held out and missed those first 2 games. They were doo-doo without him. Yeah. You remember the first 2 games he had where he held out and Jerry, made this staunch, took this stance where he wasn't going to pay him and all, give him a new deal or whatever it was at the time. And the Cowboys struggled until Emmitt Smith came back. Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. From Cuddy Jackson, then it wasn't for you to hear, Chuchi. Okay, having some type of personal type of debate in the chat room. From Al Thompson, laugh out loud, Clay. I will check when I get home. Wait a minute, 19? That's okay. Yeah, and if he's talking about going back and looking at Kim Fields' footage from Facts of Life, pre-surgery, before she had the gazongas taken away, you might be some type of pervert. So don't go back and look at that. I'm not going to do that either. I mentioned something like that, but just, like Men in Black, just erase that from your memory. Yes, sir. From that ninja, Cam Newton had to break records for 5 years to get the respect Andrew Luck got 2 years before he got to the NFL. They're either biased or bad at their job. Either way, why listen? Man, if y'all follow me, and I think this happened over the weekend. I think this happened after the show on Friday. Social media, somebody, one of my boys, no, it wasn't posted. The same guy that told me the story about Johnny Manziel, he had been drinking shots with Johnny Manziel in Texas, sent me a link to a video of Rich Eisen from the NFL Network, who's a good guy. We've had him on the Stews many, many times. Real good dude, from my opinion. Rich Eisen, I guess someone had asked him, they were having a debate about how good Cam is as a passer. And Rich Eisen read off like a gazillion stats of Cam Newton's passing career. Not as running, he did mix in a little bit of that, but he talked about Cam having all of these rookie records and all of these passing records thus far, talking about 5 years into their career. And after you watch it, and you can go, and maybe I'll go post it in the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group, you can go back and watch this thing. And after you finish watching it, the first thing that came to my mind is, why has there been some type of discussion about Cam Newton becoming a better passer? Cam Newton been throwing that tater. He has been. From day one. You remember the man's first 2 games, he threw for over 400 yards. So, but where's the selective memory stuff? Like, Cam Newton's just getting into his own passing the football. No. The man has been throwing the football like one of the best in the league from day one that he stepped on the field. Now, a lot of times, he doesn't even have good targets to throw to, but that hadn't mattered. Go back and look at this video, man. Like, he goes on for about 2 or 3 minutes in reading out Cam Newton's accolades as far as passing the football, not the running. When you mix that in, then it's just another whole conversation, another worldly conversation. But, yeah, why does it seem like that the media wants us to believe that Cam Newton just figured out how to throw the football? No, that's a lie. From day one, the man has been crushing from the pocket. From the pocket. Ball award to Rich Eisen, man, for that. And I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen the video on my Facebook page, but I'm going to post it in the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group as well. A lot of you, you aren't, one of my friends on Facebook, not because of my doing, it's because Facebook only allows you a certain amount. So a lot of stuff that you aren't able to see because we aren't friends, you can check it out, and I'll post it in the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group. So I'll do that, man. Y'all check that video out. And then the next time somebody tells you about Cam just learning how to pass or throw from the pocket, just show them that video and just tell them that's a media lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Hey, when we get back from the break, man, more sports talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. And, man, Mike Martz went in on T.O. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. And we'll wrap up today's show. Damn it, the show is almost over? I didn't even realize it. That's what happens when you're having fun, man. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, trillest, most unfiltered sports and guy talk show in America. Man, damn show's almost over. I got a good mind to do bonus stew today, but I can't. Hey, look, man, I really want to do that third hour, man. And I'll tell you what, you can help me get that third hour. You can help TDSS get its third hour, man. All you got to do is go to thedugstewartshow.com and donate $5 one time a month, man. And at some point, maybe we'll stack up our chips enough where we can do it until we get our advertiser game up a little bit. So go to thedugstewartshow.com and donate $5 one time a month for $5 for the flavor. And let's do it like that, man. Damn, I wish I could do a third hour today. This show just flew by. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of interesting stuff. Today's show is brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? ID Life is sleep and skincare products, shakes, energy chews, and energy drinks, snack bars, hydrate and appetite control powders, pre- and post-workout products, a ton of great products, man, tested for a long, long time. And so if you want to get more details, man, and get your health together in 2016, this is the start of the year. I mean, it's February now, and at some point we got to stop saying this because we're well into 2016. But I'm going to say it one more time. Get yourself together for 2016. There's a lot of big dudes that listen to our show. I know that because I've sent out T-shirts to y'all. And so there's a lot of big dudes that listen to our show. Shut up, studio audience. They can't help it. They're big-boned it. Okay? And so, man, I watched last night this thing on TLC, or yesterday during the day, and it was this chick, man, and she was like 600 pounds. And she was talking about how she was addicted to eating. And I'm not saying any of y'all are addicted to eating, but, you know, carrying around all of that weight, let's just be honest, I can keep it real with y'all. Carrying around the extra weight, man, is not healthy. It's just not. It's not good for your heart. And so, you know, make up your mind to get healthier in 2016, whether that's a little bit progressively or what. And, you know, get yourself together for your family. If not for anything else, for your family, for your kids. Knock on wood. Go online and check out the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. That's the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. Quickly, former Rams coach Mike Martz said it is outright and ridiculous that Terrell Owens is a Hall of Fame finalist over a pair of former Ram wide receivers. He told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that he doesn't understand why Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt haven't been given more consideration for enshrinement into Canton, Ohio, while Owens is a finalist in his first year of eligibility. Surprised isn't a word, Marsh told the newspaper. You can't print how I felt when T.O. leapfrogged those two. That's just plain out ridiculous. T.O. went on Twitter and responded to the whole controversy. Somebody asked him how do you feel about Mike Martz, saying these things about his guys and in effect dissing him. T.O. says, laugh out loud. Nope, doesn't surprise me. I expect the devil to become busy when God is on the midst of a blessing. I don't know if it's all about that, but he is hating. I get it. But I didn't know Terrell Owens had become a minister. But okay, that's fine. Owens is one of two wide receivers on the final ballot of the Hall of Fame, along with former Indianapolis Colts star Marvin Harrison. Martz also took some issue with Harrison being ranked over the former Rams. Now, Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce were phenomenal players, man, but this kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. It kind of does, man. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt were fantastic players, and the numbers say they were fantastic players. Terrell Owens was special. Terrell Owens actually dropped a lot of balls, but athletically and big play-wise, it seems like I remember way many more big plays with Terrell Owens than I did in Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. I mean, it's as simple as that. And once again, it's a lot of variables. There's a lot of layers to a discussion about a wide receiver because you got to look at the era in which they played. You got to look at the offense that they ran. And you know what they did in St. Louis. They threw the ball a gazillion times. They did. And so, they had a lot of stats, man. They were the first team, maybe I can remember, that really did a lot of those bubble screens. They got a lot of receiving yards out of the running back, out of Marshall Faulk, out the backfield. And so they always had 3-4 wide receivers on the field. Kurt Warner throwing the ball, once again, a gazillion times. So that plays into it as well. Ask yourself the question. Just use your eyes. You're all football fans. You are. And Mike Martz ain't stupid. This is just a way for him to look out for his guys. Use your eyes. Terrell Owens, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. Once again, one of these guys is special. The other two were very good. Don't confuse what I'm saying. They were very good. I mean, great. And those guys might make it into the Hall of Fame. But Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, they were special. This is the best way I can put it. They were special. You know what I'm saying? They were special. From Ace Foster, he says the answer to every statement Doug is making is that the colonizers don't want to see Cam win. No, I've never said that. My man, that ninja, says that all the time. Texas Tide, don't even matter from the pocket or not. Yards are yards and TDs are TDs. Yeah, it's crazy how they always, and this is the Cam Newton conversation, it's crazy how, it seems like the narrative is always that a passing touchdown is more points, or you're getting like 8 points or whatever from a passing touchdown than you are from a running touchdown. Like, they really always, and I say they, I'm talking about the media in general, they try to discount these rushing touchdowns. To me, a guy that grew up in the era where you ran the football, running the football is 100 times safer than passing the football. So if your quarterback can do that, you're mad at him because he can do that? It makes no sense at all. It actually is ass backwards. If I can run the football in as opposed to throwing it in the air, where all kinds of things can go wrong. You can make a slightly off throw. The defender can make a great play, the defensive back. You could get sacked and pressured where you make a bad throw. The ball could be tipped. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong when you pass the football. So, in effect, the way the media makes it sound is they're mad at Cam Newton and somehow they're downgrading these rushing touchdowns. Man, miss me with that. GTFOH. 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 We're so mad we played the wrong damn music. GTFOH. This is the right music. GTFOH. Miss me with all of that. The man got 45 touchdowns this year. Just stop it. Just stop it. Oh, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just stop it. We'll see how this thing plays out this week. We'll see if, because it's almost to the point now where even, and I got to be real, I saw the E60 story with Cam last night. I also saw the E60, if you watch SportsCenter, with Demaryius Thomas. But it's almost to the point right now where you can't deny him. Even if you were a staunch critic, even if you were even one of those quote-unquote haters, what he's done this year is just, you can't even attempt or try to question what this man has done. So we'll see what happens this week. We'll see what happens this week if the shade continues, or if even those most staunch critics are going to just have to bow down to something greater than themselves. Yes, sir. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you. Hey, shouts out to Waterhead Walter, producer to the show. My man Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri, the engineers to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank y'all for doing what y'all do. Without y'all, there would be no us. And a special shout out to all the Stewies, man. Stewies. Thank you very much. All right, we'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.